Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hollywood Remembers video. Today, we're honoring the American stars we've recently lost, along with other beloved figures who have touched our lives around the world. Before we dive in, if this video resonates with you, we'd truly appreciate a like. It helps us continue sharing these heartfelt tributes with the respect and care they deserve. Thank you for your support. And now, let's begin.
Robert Reed Carradine was a gifted American actor whose steady presence and thoughtful performances left a meaningful mark on film and television. Born on March 24, 1954, in Hollywood, Los Angeles, he carried forward a proud artistic tradition while shaping a path uniquely his own. Audiences fondly remember his heartfelt portrayal of Louis Skolnick in Revenge of the Nerds, a role that turned an unlikely hero into a symbol of resilience and quiet courage. Throughout the years, Carradine brought warmth, intelligence, and authenticity to every character he embraced. Whether on the big screen or in beloved television appearances, he had a rare ability to connect across generations, reminding us that perseverance and kindness never go out of style. His performances were never merely roles. They were reflections of humanity, humor, and heart. Even beyond his most famous moments, Robert's legacy lives on in the joy he brought to audiences and in the inspiration he offered to aspiring actors who admired his dedication to his craft. His work continues to be revisited, cherished, and shared, proving that true artistry does not fade with time. As we reflect on his life and contributions, let us celebrate the grace and sincerity he brought into the world of entertainment. What memories of Robert Reed Carradine remain closest to your heart? We invite you to share how his performances touched your life, so that together we may honor his enduring light with gratitude and affection.
James Deere, known to the world as Lucifer and Axe Jarrell, was a bold and visionary voice of a new musical era. Born on August 2, 2002, he emerged as a pioneer of the internet microgenre sigilcore, shaping a sound that resonated deeply with a digital generation. In 2021, when his music found remarkable popularity on TikTok, it marked a defining moment that led him to sign with Atlantic Records, an achievement that confirmed his rising star. Yet, beyond viral trends and streaming numbers, James was an artist of fearless creativity. He embraced innovation, blending experimental tones with raw emotion, proving that music continually evolves through courageous young minds. His work reflected the restless spirit of his time, while reminding us that artistry has no age limit. Though his life was brief, ending on February 22, 2026 in Los Angeles, his influence endures in playlists, memories, and the hearts of listeners who discovered something fresh and authentic in his sound. His legacy stands as a testament to the power of originality and the boundless reach of modern creativity. As we reflect on his journey, let us honor not only his success, but the passion that fueled it. How did Lucifer's music touch your life or open your ears to something new? We warmly invite you to share your memories and celebrate the lasting light of a young artist who dared to create differently. Yekaterina Markova stands as a luminous figure of Soviet and Russian culture, an accomplished actress of stage and screen, as well as a gifted writer and screenwriter. Born on November 18, 1946 in Irkutsk, she was raised in a home shaped by literary greatness, the daughter of celebrated authors Georgy Markov and Agnia Kuznetsova. From this rich heritage, she forged her own artistic path with grace and dignity. On the teatralny scene and in cinema, Markova brought intelligence, emotional depth, and quiet strength to every role. Audiences were moved by her refined presence and the sincerity she carried into her performances. She did not simply portray characters, she revealed their souls, reminding viewers of the enduring beauty of thoughtful storytelling. Beyond acting, her literary and scenarnaya work reflected a deep understanding of the human condition. She embodied a bridge between generations, preserving the finest traditions of Russian culture while contributing her own voice to its ongoing story. Her life's work continues to inspire respect among admirers of classic theater and meaningful cinema. As we reflect on her remarkable journey, we honor a woman whose talent was matched by her integrity. What memories of Yekaterina Markova remain in your heart? We warmly invite you to share how her artistry touched your life, so that together we may celebrate her lasting legacy with gratitude and admiration.
There are voices that arrive like bright weather, and there are voices that settle into a room the way lamplight does, steady, warm, and patient. Lionel Richie belongs to that second kind. In an era that often mistakes volume for importance, his presence has long been marked by a rare confidence. The confidence to sing softly and still be heard. Decades have passed, fashions have turned, and the equipment we use to carry music has changed shape again and again. Yet his songs continue to sound like something held in the hand, not shouted across a street. Part of what endures is the calm intelligence behind his melodies. Even when the beat moves, there is an unhurried center, a sense that the song knows where it is going. Richie has always written as if he trusts time, and that trust becomes contagious. The listener relaxes into the story, into the simple architecture of feeling, a longing stated without embarrassment, a devotion offered without spectacle, a hope that does not pretend to be new, only sincere. That sincerity is not naive, it is disciplined. It requires the decision, repeated over a lifetime, to protect tenderness from cynicism. Watch him now on a stage, and you see a performer who does not chase the moment, he invites it. He stands with the ease of someone who has already proved whatever proof the world demanded. The gestures are economical, the smile not manufactured but practiced in gratitude. When he leans into a familiar line, it is less a display than a shared memory, a reminder that millions of lives have carried that phrase through kitchens, cars, hospital waiting rooms, and living rooms after the children have gone to bed. His music has been a companion during ordinary hours, and that is where most lives are actually lived. Richie's gift is not only that he can write a chorus that stays, but that he understands what a chorus is for. It is the part of the song where people join in, where a private emotion becomes communal without losing its dignity. In that sense, his career has offered a public service, permission to feel openly while remaining composed. For an audience that has watched decades stack up like photo albums, that permission matters. It honors the emotional continuity of adulthood, the way love changes texture without losing weight. There is also humor in him, a lightness that keeps sentiment from becoming heavy. It appears in the bounce of certain rhythms, in the way he carries a romantic line with a wink that never turns cruel. That balance, earnestness tempered by play, has kept his work from aging into self-parody. He does not ask the listener to believe in perfection. He asks the listener to believe in trying again, in picking up the phone, in crossing the room, in saying the thing that pride would rather hide. And then there is the voice itself. Smooth, yes, but more importantly clear. It speaks as if it has nothing to prove and nothing to conceal. When he sings, you hear the breath and the patience between words, the small pauses where emotion gathers. Many singers chase intensity by pushing harder. Richie often achieves it by holding back, letting the line float until the listener meets it halfway. That restraint is a form of respect. It treats the audience as grown, as capable of recognizing their own feelings without being instructed. To celebrate Lionel Richie in the present tense is to recognize a kind of American artistry that prizes connection over exhibition. His songs have not demanded that the world rearrange itself around them. They have simply stayed available, like a well-made chair, like a familiar road. In a culture that frequently rewards speed, his steady pace has been its own statement. He has reminded us that romance can be graceful, that joy can be unforced, that a melody can carry a lifetime without collapsing under it. When the lights come up after a performance, people leave with the same expression you see after a good conversation, softened, reminded, quietly strengthened. That may be the most fitting tribute. Music that does not overwhelm the day, but makes the day more bearable and sometimes more beautiful. We thank him always. Before the arenas and the televised stages, before the tuxedos and the polished grand pianos, there was a young man in Tuskegee, Alabama, absorbing the atmosphere of a campus that believed deeply in discipline and aspiration. Lionel Richie did not emerge from noise, but from order. The world around him valued education, self-possession, and the quiet insistence that talent should be matched by effort. That early environment left its mark. Even at the height of popular acclaim, there has always been something collegiate in his bearing, a sense of preparation behind the ease. Music first took shape for him not as a spotlight but as collaboration. With the Commodores, he learned the art of listening as much as leading. Funk grooves, tight harmonies, the collective rhythm of a band moving as one body. These were lessons in humility. A song succeeds when each instrument understands its place. Richie's later mastery of balladry carries traces of that apprenticeship. He writes with space for others, leaving room for the listener's own story to enter the frame. When he stepped forward as a solo artist, it was not a leap of ego but a widening of scope. The early 1980s shimmered with possibility, and his voice seemed to travel effortlessly across genres and continents. Songs like Hello and Stuck on You did not shout their arrival. They simply settled into the cultural bloodstream. Radios carried them into small towns and big cities alike. And suddenly the private language of affection had a new soundtrack. Yet even in that surge of popularity, there was restraint. Richie's performances were never frantic. He appeared composed, almost reflective, as if aware that fame is a current to be navigated, not conquered. Success on that scale can harden an artist or inflate him. In Richie's case, it appeared to deepen his attentiveness. Interviews from that period reveal a man who spoke less about conquest and more about craft. He discussed melody the way a carpenter discusses wood grain, respectfully, knowing that the material has its own logic. That respect is audible. His ballads are constructed with care. Their climax is earned rather than forced. The emotional arc feels natural because it has been patiently shaped. There was also a growing sense of responsibility. When he co-wrote We Are the World, the project carried more than chart ambition. It carried humanitarian purpose. The moment revealed another dimension of his character, the willingness to lend a recognizable voice to something larger than personal acclaim. In that gesture, audiences glimpsed not only a performer, but a citizen of the world, aware that music can bind strangers in common cause. As the decades unfolded, the industry transformed. New sounds rose, technology accelerated, and attention spans shortened. Yet Richie remained visible without scrambling for relevance. He adjusted, certainly, but he did not abandon his core. That steadiness is not accidental. It reflects an internal compass set early in life. The campus lawns of Tuskegee, the rehearsals with bandmates, the patient study of song structure, all of it formed a foundation strong enough to support changing times. To observe his journey is to see how preparation meets opportunity. The young man who once played saxophone in a college ensemble became a global voice, yet the through line is clear. Respect for the craft, regard for the audience, and a belief that emotion need not be exaggerated to be powerful. In a world that often celebrates abrupt ascent, Richie's rise feels almost classical, built step by deliberate step. Today, when he stands before an audience spanning generations, there is continuity between that young student and the seasoned performer. The posture remains upright, the phrasing careful, the smile measured. It is the look of someone who understands that achievement is not a single moment, but an accumulation of faithful efforts. And that understanding continues to resonate long after the applause fades. There is a particular kind of endurance that does not announce itself. It does not depend on spectacle or reinvention for its own sake. It rests instead on constancy, on the quiet repetition of values that refuse to erode. In Lionel Richie, one sees that endurance clearly. The decades have not erased his identity, they have refined it. While musical trends have turned sharply, from vinyl to streaming, from orchestral arrangements to digital beats, his essential tone has remained intact, like a steady pulse beneath shifting lights. Constancy can be misunderstood as stubbornness, but in his case it has always felt deliberate and generous. He has adapted without surrendering the emotional clarity that defines his work. When he appears on contemporary television as a mentor and judge, offering guidance to younger performers, there is no trace of condescension. Instead, there is recognition. He understands ambition because he has lived it. He understands vulnerability because he has sung it. The advice he offers carries the authority of experience, yet it is delivered with softness. That balance is rare. The role of mentor suits him not because it extends visibility, but because it aligns with a lifelong pattern. Even at the height of his chart dominance, Richie's songs rarely centered on bravado. They centered on connection. He sang of reaching across distance, of admitting fault, of longing for reconciliation. These are themes that require humility. To sustain them over years without slipping into caricature demands an inner steadiness. That steadiness has become part of his public image, a man who does not seem hurried by time. Time, of course, leaves its mark on every voice. There is a deeper grain now, a subtle texture that was not present in youth. Yet that change feels less like diminishment and more like enrichment. The songs carry additional weight because the singer carries additional years. When he performs a familiar melody, it arrives with the memory of countless prior renditions, each one layered invisibly upon the next. The audience hears not only the present note, but the accumulation behind it. His continued touring is not a grasp at nostalgia. It feels more like a gathering. People attend with grown children, sometimes even grandchildren. They arrive carrying stories, a wedding dance, a road trip, a song played during a reconciliation. Richie stands at the center of these intersecting histories, aware that the music no longer belongs solely to him. It belongs to the lives that have used it. That awareness shapes the atmosphere of his performances. There is gratitude in it, and an unspoken acknowledgement that art gains meaning through repetition in ordinary days. Constancy also shows in his demeanor offstage. Interviews reveal a man who laughs easily, who speaks of his past with perspective rather than self-importance. The composure is not manufactured. It has been practiced across years of acclaim and scrutiny. He has witnessed the machinery of fame up close, yet he has not allowed it to dictate his temperament.